of fatty closure using CommScope FIST GC02. Let's start with the kit content. We have the base of the closure, including UMS, routing block and cover. We have silicon film, one tray cover, the dome of the closure. We have also 3 sets of trays, which includes one group plate and 4 trays inside each bag. We have also 6 bags, including gel sealing for the round pot used for distribution cables. And we have 1 oval gel sealing for the feeder cable. The next step is to terminate the feeder cable. I have here feeder cable that we will use for a window cut, so it will be a loop inside the closure. The feeder cable must be in diameter within the range of 5 to 18 millimeter, and the next step now is to prepare the cable. So for the window cut, we will need 3.2. We need to strip 3.2 meter of the cable, and first we need to define the middle point, and then we will take 1.6 from each side and strip the cable jacket. So first I will locate the reverse point in the cable. I'll strip about 30 centimeters first. Now I have located the reverse point. As you can see, the cable, the loose tubes are rotating one side, and then they rotate the opposite directions. So this is here, as you can see, this is the reversal point. So this will be my middle point for the cable preparation, and I will take 1.6 meter from each side and then strip the cable. I prepare the cable, 3.2 meter of the cable, 1.6 from each side from the reverse point. Make sure to leave 60 millimeter of the strength member on both sides, so we use it to fix the cable. The first step to install the cables inside is to open the ports. So what we need to do for mid-span installation is to open the oval port. As we can see here, we have 1 oval port and 6 round ports. So the oval port is for the distribution cable for the mid-span, while the round ports for drop cables. So I need to decide how many of the round ports that I need to open, and that depends on the number of drops. Each port, and that is because we're using the sealing of 4 entries, each port can take 4 drops. So depending on the number of total drops that I need to connect to the cable, to the closure, I will decide how many drops I need to open. So let's say if I have 4 drop cables to be installed, then I will need to open 1 only. If I need to connect 6 drop cables, then I will need to open 2 ports. To open the port, it's recommended that we will use heat gun, just a little bit to soften the material. Then with the utility knife, I'll cut port open. make sure that I remove any extra material in the edges so they become soft. In this video, I will install one drop cable, so I will open one round port, and you can see that there are number for each ports, so 1 and 2 for the oval, and then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the first drop cable will be number 3. I will follow the same procedure to open port 3. So little bit heat the port with the heat gun. That there is no sharp edges. Now let's have a look at the oval gel sealing kit. We have the gel sealing, 2 parts with fixation screws inside and lubricant. We have also 2 brackets, long one and short one. For this closure we will use the long one, so there is no need for the short one, it's for another type of closures. We have also the strength member, fixation, CTU, and with an Allen key. We have a plug to close. If we have a single entry of the cable, then we can use this one to close the other side, and we also have a foam tape. Now I will install the cable, strength member, both sides to the bracket. It's important to use the right size of the bracket, so we see that the bracket has a curve, and there's inner side and outer side. This is not the right way to install the cable to the bracket. The right way is to install it from the inside, so the cable is installed like this. Now it's important to clear all the tubes before we fix the strength member, so we route the tubes, make them clearly around the strength member fixation. We might need to shave the strength member a little bit to expose the inner part so we can get the CTU inside. Now I will tighten the CTU using the provided Allen key. There are 2 threads with the CTU. It's important to make sure that they are both tight. Then the next step is to install the CTUs, attach the CTUs to the bracket. With the provided bolts, recommended that before we tighten the CTUs, we install the hose clamps. So we fix the cable and make sure that it's in the right location before we fix or tighten the bolts of the CTUs. Same with the other hose clamps. Now I applied some tape on the hose clamps, and I will make sure that the CTUs are tightened to the bracket. So now I have the cable attached to the bracket. I'll carefully get the tubes inside first, the oval port. Now inside the gel sealing bag we have two parts of the gel sealing, and we also have three small screws that are very important to install the gel sealing in the body of the closure. We also have lubricant if needed, and it's important here to make sure that we put the gel in the right direction. So the gel will be eventually the base must be facing up like this when we install the cable, because if we install them the other way around, we will not be able to reach the areas where we need to get to the screws. So to get it in that direction, and for the bracket must be facing inside the closure like this, as you can see here. And then I'll get the bracket inside, facing inside the closure. Now I'll install the pin to lock on the bracket. From one side, and split the pin on the other side. Now to install the gel sealing, I'll bring the base of the gel and install it in the direction where the screws at the end, the two screws are facing up. And then I'll bring the other piece and install it. Need to first align the pins on the lower side. Click it. Do the same on the upper side. Align the pins first, and then through until it clicks. So now I will push the gel sealing inside the port. Carefully until I get all the gel inside. small screwdriver. I'll install the small screws, their location. Make sure it goes through the body of the closure. Make sure to push the gel sealing inside all the way for starting installing the screw. Do the same for the third screw on the other side. It's important to make sure that all screws are installed so that the gel sealing is properly done. After that, I will apply the trigger, the gel sealing, and make sure that it is tightened to the end. The trigger has to be tightened until it gets to the end, and then you cannot move more. Now I have stored the buffer unused tubes behind the closure, so on the back side of the closure, and I took the blue tube for the other side for splicing. Now the next step is to install the drop cables. For drop cable installation, we need to first install the fixation with cable sealing, and with the cable sealing bag we have the gel sealing and we have also the fixation. So the fixation needs to be installed this way. We have two triangle metal pieces that are used to fix the argot yarn. So first we install the first triangle metal piece, and then with the spacer and the second metal piece. It's important to install the triangle plates correctly. So first we install the first triangle plate, and then we install the second one, and it is important to install the triangle plate with the nuts facing downwards and the other way around, or else it will be the nuts will be removed from its place. So this is not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is to install the triangle plate with the nuts downwards. So here's the second one. I'll attach it. And then I will install it, attach it to the body of the closure. dummy rods. I'll need that if I don't use all the 4 ports with 4 cables. Let's say in this example we have 1 cable, so I'll use 3 plugs to close the 3 remaining openings. So here's the gel, and inside the bag we have 2 small screws that I need to fix the gel sealing to the port. So now this is the gel sealing. Here I have a line indication for the right direction of the sealing, of the gel sealing. So here, as you can see in the picture, the 2 lines must be aligned together. Here's 1 line on the gel and the other line on the port. So make sure that they are aligned, and then make sure that the screw go through the body of the closure. Do the same for the second one. So that's tight. Now on the part itself, we also have numbering here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will start filling the cables from 1, 2, then 3 and 4. Now for this example we will only install 1 cable, so we'll use the first port and we will install plugs in the remaining ports. So I'll need 3 plugs to fill in 2 and number 3, number 4. Next I will feed the drop cable through. So this drop cable is a 12 fiber cable and it's within the diameter range of 4 to 7, so it must be within the range of 4 to 7 millimeters so it can fit through the gel sealing. So I will feed this cable through, and I need of that cable I will need to feed 2.2 meters and then I will prepare that cable following the standard practice. Now I have stripped the cable at 2.2 meter, and it's important to leave about 80 millimeter of aramid yarn so we can use it for cable fixation. Now I will use some of the foam tape and apply it around the jacket. I'll take the upper triangle plate out, and then so I will fix the arm to this screw. Before that, make sure that the tube is free to move, and the cable must end here, so later I can put a tie wrap around it. Now I will tighten the screw. The tie wrap, I'll fix the jacket. Because I'm using installing one cable, I'll install the plate, the second plate for future use. Next, I'll tighten the gel by applying the trigger. I'll apply the trigger until the whole spring is inside and it's not visible. Okay, so this completes the installation of the feeder cable and one drop cable. Now we have completed the fixation and installation of feeder cable and drop cable. The next step is to install the splicing trays. So here we have fass area, and the fass area can be used for both storing unused fibers in case of the drop cable, and also it can be used to switch the direction of fibers from one side to another side. So as we can see here, we have the feeder cable and drop cable are coming from both sides, and it's better to have the feeder cable one side and the drop cable from other side, so I can use the fass area to switch between sides. For that, let's start the installation of the splicing trays. So with the closure, we have 3 bags of trays. Each bag has a groover plate and 4 splicing trays. So first, see, the groove plate is the plate that we install first, which holds the trays. So to install this tray, you can see here we have longer pins and shorter pins. Make sure that the longer pins are on the left side, and you can see that from the fass area, which is pre-installed, the longer pins on the left side. So we will follow that with the with the groove plate. So to install it, first align and install the longer pins. Then on the other side, push the tray inside, then to the left until you hear the click. So that means it is installed. Now if I need to remove the groove plate, to do that I'll push the pins on the right hand side to the left until it is out of its place. So this is how to remove it. To install it again, push it inside and to the right. Now to install the tray. This tray takes size of 2 hinges. So what I will do now, I will skip the first hinge and install it on the second hinge. So to install it, first I will align with the pin on the groove plate, push it and slide to the right. For the second tray, again I'm skipping 1 hinge. So same for the third and fourth tray, skipping 1 hinge. So what I will do the same for the other 2 groove plates and splicing trays. At the end I should have 3 groove plates installed and 12 splicing trays. Also, this is the cover for the last splicing tray, so I can also install it. The next step is to strip the tubes. Now I'll strip both the tubes between the 2 indicators here. So I will mark the tubes. As you can see, I'm bringing the tubes to the closest tube bath on the fast area. So that guarantees the minimum bend radius. So now I'll strip the tubes and clean the fibers. Now I have stripped the tube at the indicated location, and what I will do now to fix the tubes, I will take one of these tube holders and with the pin inside I will push it in the rail to the end so it holds the tube. I'll do the same for the second one. So now I have the tubes secured in the fast area. Next step, I'll take the fibers to the trays where I will do the splicing. So I will keep this fiber on this side, while for the drop fibers I need to route them to the other side. So I will use the fast area to route the fibers to the other side. As you can see, I will route them using S shape, so I make sure that I have a bend control and there is no high bend in the fibers. Then I will take these fibers to the first lower tray. store the fibers in the tray temporarily. On the other side, I'll do the same for the feeder fibers. Make sure that the fibers are inside properly inside the group. Now I'll start splicing fibers. Now after completing the splicing, I will store the splice protectors in the splicing tray. And then I'll store the fibers in the tray. that completes the splicing and storage of fibers as well as the fiber splicing tray. So now I'll close the closure, so the Velcro, after I install the fast area cover. With the Velcro, I will secure the trays. I'll place silicone pin back. Now to close the closure, first need to make sure that the red rubber is in the right place. Usually it's not moving, but we need to make sure that it is in the right place before closing the closure. And then place the downward. Place the latches. Can also use a screwdriver. There are 8 latches. We need to make sure that they are all closed to make sure that the closure is sealed properly. Now, once that is done, again double check that the gel sealing triggers are all applied to the end. And this completes the installation of fat closure using CommScope FIS GCO2 FD6.